Okay, I think I'm all right. Hey, thanks everyone for being here. I think we're getting it recorded now. And of course, if for some reason you do not wish to have your picture viewed, then make sure that you are uh, participating in the Zoom with your video turned off. Otherwise, your participation in this Zoom will be permission for us to use your picture via Zoom frame on social media, such as the YouTube. So thanks everyone for being here. And we're going to get right into the middle of it. Sammy, thanks for wearing that hat too. Okay, so this is our season 5 of the Professional Roundtable. And of course, CTAT this year is participating in its 25th year as CTAT. And there's an old guide from back in 2003, 2004, where it's still called the Career and Technology Administrators. But as an organization, CTAT's been around for 25 years. We'll be celebrating that throughout the year. And we appreciate all you folks that have been around as members for that long and all of you that have joined after that. Of course, this is season 5, and for those of you that remember, this was started just as a roundtable for the COVID updates. And I think it's probably one of the best things that'll happen to CTAT as an organization, because we get to see every month you guys share information with each other. And it really is what I think is the best day of the month. So thank you guys all for being here, and thanks for being willing to learn and teach each other. Today in history is kind of unique. In 1936, they had the first televised Olympics in Berlin. And of course, those of you that know your Olympic history, I'm being quite the Olympic advocate, is I really miss an event. But in 1936, Jesse Owens won the gold medals that he took from the German Olympics. They're kind of historic. And George Harrison had the concert for Bangladesh on this day back in the early 70s. Also, for those of you that are familiar, if you were around back in the mid 80s, then you remember that August 1st, 1981 was the first video ever played on the brand new station MTV. And of course, that was Video Killed the Radio Star. Sammy, if you didn't know that piece of trivia, Video Killed the Radio Star was the first video ever on MTV by the Buggles. And of course, if you're an MTV watcher now, you probably don't see many videos because I think they quit playing them, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but they didn't call and ask for my opinion on it. Also, we'd like to follow up with some recognitions that we had at the conference. We for sure like to thank everyone that served as a pre-conference trainer at the summer shindig in Fort Worth, all of the ESC specialists for being there and being in their supportive role, all of the CTAT staff that you don't normally get to see. I know you see Robin and Chelsea and Lindsay and I quite a bit, but you rarely see Jamie or Angie or Monique or Leslie, and the other one's really back there making the gears turn, and they do such an incredible job. And everyone really stepped up and took some multiple roles, so we really want to appreciate those guys. For all of you that gave the breakout sessions, they were just incredible. I caught as many as I possibly could, and it just seems that the content gets better and better every summer. And so thank you for doing such a great job for the breakout sessions. I'd like to thank the TEA staff for coming and participating. I think what Marcette, the update she gave was terrific. And then Lacey Freeman gave an update on a lot of the PEAM stuff. And Chelsea's going to talk to you about some of that a little bit just a few seconds. But the TEA staff being there, I think really means a lot. Shows that they're supporting the administrators to their association. And of course, Lumens with the AV and GRIP with all their logistical support. Thanks to everyone that made the summer 2024 CTAT conference such a success. Of course, it would be hard to have it, the summer conference, and of course, these roundtables without a roundtable sponsor, ICEV, and Of course, most time we're dealing with Dusty and Mark and Sammy, of course, and we just really appreciate those guys and all the support they provide. And they truly are a partner to career and technical education just as much as they are a vendor. So if any of you guys are on here, and Sammy, appreciate all of you and what all you do. And of course, the summer social was at Tannehill's in the stockyards. And I have to say that it was one for the ages. It's They'll be talking about the Tannehill's reception in the stockyards for years to come. And luckily, I caught some pictures from it for those of you that weren't able to see it. They had a little out front area, and people were able to sit and visit and talk, and it was very nice and very professional. Some people you can even say had a Diet Coke there, and some had some water and wine glasses. And then the Houston, it was pretty nice, and they had a concert, had the band up there, and had a live stage. It was just really incredible. Then the Houston people showed up and got a little bit out of control, and I don't know what happened to it, but they started this trend of jumping off the stage, and we caught several of them in action, and it got a little bit rowdy right there. And one guy just really took a plunge, and I was happy to catch him with my cell phone right at the right time. But it was pretty interesting. But other than that, it was very peaceful and planned, a very professional atmosphere. And we thank you for all of you that attended, and we thank ICV for all that they did in helping to put that together and all the logistics that happened. So thank you all very much, and hopefully you enjoyed the conference social at Tannehill's, and we'll run it out again in San Antonio in more form or fashion. We'd like to thank all of the people that are on our board of directors, because all of the programming that we do, including this roundtable, is really driven by the board and the area presidents and the executive committee. So thank you to the CTAT board of directors for all that you do and in providing guidance to the staff and to the organization as a whole. If you're new, if this is your first roundtable, then just talk a little bit about the CTAT programming. We'll start the next gen administrators will be in September. And if you're new or you have less than 5-year experience, or you just want a reminder, we meet monthly at 1:30. And I think the next gen administrators, for you folks that have been in it, they are really become the leaders in our association. So the next gen is a great opportunity to get in there and do some networking and to touch up your administrative or specialist or learning support skills. Of course, the monthly roundtables like we're on now, the professional conferences like we have in the summer and the winter. Also, we do in-district professional development. We have 2 schools that we're going to next week, and there's limited opportunities for those because everybody kind of does them at the same time. But if you would like in-district professional development, we can sure come out there and help you provide that. The district program evaluations, we already have a number of them on the calendar for the fall. And so if you're wanting a program evaluation, make sure that you email me or Chelsea at Mark or Chelsea at ctat.org. Shoot us an email, and we'll kind of shoot you what all is involved in a program evaluation. And then we'll get that on a calendar before they fill up too quick. With Chelsea on staff, she's had the training, and we're going to be able to provide some MOA support. So if you would like to, if your district has been selected for methods of administration evaluation and you need support in that, we've added that to the programming for this year. So just reach out. Probably Chelsea would be the best one, Chelsea at ctat.org, or just give us a call or email me or Robin. Any of us can help you. Again, I talked about just a second ago, but I really do believe that one of the best things, part of the program that we do, is this next gen. And this is our 5th cohort. And it's unbelievable that that's true, because that'll mean that's my 5th year. But it's really geared towards new and mid-level administrators, but even experienced administrators. If you just want to touch up on a few areas, we'd love to have you. But really, it's aimed at those with less than 5 years. The next gen cohort is terrific. We encourage you to participate. One of the things that we talked about was our area outreach trainings that we have, and we're starting. And of course, these are starting up almost immediately. We're doing new teacher academy like we did last year. This year we have added the campus CTE coach, and I, I kind of give this one just a little bit of a plug because when we think about who a new teacher is going to go for help on campus, they're probably not going to pick up the phone and call TEA. They're probably not going to pick up the phone and call TTAT, CTAT. We'd like for them to call the service center, but it's not very likely they'll do that. And they're probably not even going to call the administrator in their local district for CTE. Most likely what they're going to do is walk down the hall and ask a teacher that's in the building with them. And so that's why at CTAT, we believe that one of the most important trainings that we could do is this campus CTE coach, where we could have support for these new and inexperienced teachers right down the hall to help them. And our goal is to have a campus CTE coach trained for every secondary campus in the state eventually. And we start that in the Woodlands on October 1st, followed up by North Richland Hills at Birdville ISD Career Tech Center on the 24th, and then at Wichita Falls on the 30th. So we're going to do 3 in the fall and then hit them again in the spring, and we'll be posting the spring dates. The new CTE Teacher Academy is also going to be in the Woodlands and at Birdville ISD. For those of you that have been looking for the CTE plus PEAMS plus finance training that we do with TASBO, we'll have a fall and a spring date. The fall date is set for October 8th and 9th in Abilene at the ESC 9 Service Center. So we really look forward to that. Probably the second favorite that we have coming up is we really believe that it's time for CTAT to really jump in there and start supporting the career and technical student organizations. And teachers are coming to us now that have not been indoctrinated into it, especially with District of Innovation. We have teachers and administrators and superintendents and counselors. These people need to learn about career tech, the CTSO Summit, and the CTSO Summit will help them learn about all of the great stuff that is done in our FFA chapters, our FCCLA, TSA, Skills USA, all of the terrific CTSOs we have. And that CTSO Summit will be November 7th in Pflugerville, and we have commitments from all of the CTSOs to be there at this time. And the last one I'll talk about will be the CTSO plus campus admin training that we'll do in March. And that's where you will come as a team with your campus administrators and learn how to facilitate and do career and technical education at the campuses in the most efficient and effective manner. And so the campus plus CTE admin training comes straight from the area presidents, as did all these come from the board of the area presidents. We appreciate you guys, and we're looking forward to the area outreach trainings. And there's dates, and I'll run through these real quick. The summit. Also, if you haven't signed up yet, the National ACT Conference is going to be in San Antonio this year. So if you don't typically go, this may be an opportunity to sneak into the ACT Conference, and that's going to be in San Antonio. And they call it ACT Career Tech Vision 2024, December 4th through the 7th, right there where we have our conference at the Grand Hyatt. And CTAT will be having some type of mixer get together or something that we'll be having there in San Antonio. Any of the events that we just talked about, the area outreach or the next gen, any of these can be found, and you can register for them on the CTAT.org website and just hit events or professional learning. Now I'm going to turn this over to Chelsea Reeves to bring you the important updates. Chelsea?
Thanks, Mark. Hey, thank you so much again. We just want to highlight and share that Mark plugged it a little bit, but the CTAT Winter Leadership Conference is coming up. And so twofold, we want you to save the date on your calendar to attend, but also be on the lookout soon for calls for proposals. So that way we can have your excellence live in the room in connection with all members present. And so that way we can have an exceptional event, because it would not be without you and your contribution as presenters. So please be on the lookout for that information coming soon. Mark, I'm going to ask you to be my Vanna.
Well, I'm trying to find my damn arrow. Okay, there you go.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hey, so you've seen this in a couple of our communications, but the proposed version of the 24-25 Student Attendance Accounting Handbook is available. Public comment did close earlier in July, and so we anticipate that TEA will take time to look through all of that public comment, especially as it aligns to the minimum of 45 minutes for CTE instruction, regardless of student bell schedule. And so take time, it will take time for them to go through that public comment and then work through that. And so we anticipate and historically understand that the true and full approved student attendance accounting handbook will post hopefully in September, sometimes historically in October. As soon as we have that version live, we will send it to you. The State Board of Education did rule and adopted the amendments to 19 Texas Administrative Code Chapter 74, including Subchapter B graduation requirements. So keep in mind that this is the component that Mark went and testified and did an exceptional job of representing us with the State Board of Education members. And the second reading and final adoption happened in June. And so it is effective as of today. So make sure that you do review those changes since published as proposed, because there are changes that align to our students that are graduating. And it's not just us that needs to have that information. It's our campus counselors, our district counseling leads, anyone and everyone that touches the world of secondary education and graduation. So again, Mark plugged this already. Please, if you are selected for a methods of administration visit from the Office of Civil Rights in partnership with TEA, give CTAT a call. We will support you through that process, and we are here to support you. Speaking of methods of administration, a to the administrator address dropped recently, and it includes the updated required annual notification of non-discrimination. Do ensure that you are utilizing the most current one. The most current came out last year, and it references language specific to Boy Scouts of America. So if you have something on your website or in your newspaper publication that is not specific and includes language to Boy Scouts of America, you can ensure that you are using an outdated version of the annual notification of non-discrimination and the continuous notification of non-discrimination. So do ensure that you're using the most updated one. And if you need any support in that, please feel free to reach out to Mark or I. The 2024 CTE TEKS review for engineering information session is available. Read through that. That was also in your communication that you received in your email today. So definitely go and take a look at that and share that with any teachers that would benefit from that. Also, this is Mark's lovely graphic. We made a joke that if you were present at CTAT Summer and you got to hear from Lacey Freeman's update, and she did an incredible job communicating some of the PEIMS language changes, as well as we are updating to a new system. And rather than using the CO22, you will now locate CTE courses by the service ID via the CTE service ID C330. So Mark and I communicated that we kind of joked around that we would call it the 3 CPO until we memorized which report that it was. And so that is the new and improved information that you are going to be utilizing. So we will be linking those, and you will be able to reference those. Also, do keep in mind that your PEIMS coordinator will receive training. They're probably going to be your first point of contact in terms of just memorizing that service ID is now CTE service ID. Pass-fail credit indicator score is now course attempt result. Class ID number is now section identifier. Career preparation. Speaking of PEIMS, when we look at work-based learning, we want to understand that there is new PEAMS numbers in terms of career preparation. So we have a career preparation for programs of study, and then we also have career preparation for programs of study, career preparation that is outside of the scope of programs of study. So guidance from TEA, CTE will be coming soon. That will provide specific student examples to ensure accurate PEAMS coding. And as soon as that information is posted, we will include that for you guys. I had the great pleasure and honor of being present at ESC Region 7 for their CTE Teacher Academy. They did an incredible job, and we can't wait to showcase them in the future and tell y'all more about it. While there, and so shout out to the ESC Region 7 team, Kimberly, Carrie, Mark, you guys do an incredible job. And there were quite a few leaders too. I see Jacob Lusk on this Zoom call, and he was there with all of his new CTE teachers. And so it was a great event. While there, Lacey Freeman communicated that their TEA CTE resources are coming soon. And so the Work-Based Learning Toolkit, it's anticipated to release this fall, as well as the Career Cluster Planning Guides. The Program of Study Implementation Toolkit and the Advanced Academics Toolkit are anticipated summer 2025. So Kids Teaching Kids, Healthy Lifestyles. This is actually a program that is sponsored by Medical City, and it started in the North Central Texas area, but it is now expanded across the entire state of Texas. And so there were hubs that it started in North Central, then it expanded to San Antonio, then down into South Texas, and now it is statewide. And so many of you are utilizing this program and platform. It is free. And Ryan Eason is a great partner at CTAT and a great connection, and he is looking to support school districts that are wanting to implement this program. So if you have a culinary arts program, an AV program, an education and training program, anything, if you are interested in this and getting your students some real world tangible experience and also an opportunity for your classrooms to maybe get some money from competitions and utilize this instruction and curriculum and opportunity in their CTSOs, then definitely check out Kids Teaching Kids Healthy Lifestyles. There is a link to the website. There's guidelines there. It's a really pretty seamless way to walk you through. And it also lists school districts that have had great success with it. So then that way you can reach out to that CTE lead and communicate and get some peer support, as well as Ryan Eason's contact information is there. But we definitely encourage you to go and look at that. In the news, CTE, as someone who currently resides in Decatur, Texas, and spent time at ESC Region 11, it's such a joy to get to brag on Azle ISD and Dr. Murr and her leadership and her teachers. But Azle ISD's Career and Technical Education, they did an overview of offering crane operator certification. Also, shout out, my maiden name is Crane, spelled that way exactly. So just really cool, pulling on my heartstrings today. Thanks, Mark, for including Azle ISD. But take time to ensure that you click through the entirety of our newsletter that goes out to you each month, because you get to see exceptional things that are happening at school districts, as well as an ESC spotlight. So the ESC that we want to spotlight this month is ESC Region 10. So shout out to Michael, Spencer, and Rachel. And I believe Rachel is the newest member. And so Rachel, I'm super excited if you're here today to get to meet you and know you. But we just want to say thank you to ESC Region 10 for their great partnership. They provide incredible services and supports to their Area 2 members in CTAT and across ESC Region 10. And specifically, a big thank you to Spencer Adams, who presented at CTAT Summer and was able to present about the community health worker, IBC. And so we want to boast on that, but also plug them, because that is a statewide opportunity. So if you are looking to implement that, or you have a teacher that needs support in that area, reach out to ESC Region 10 and they will be able to support you.
Oh, Jake and Elwood. Well, Chelsea, you did an exceptional job and we appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mark Boshier.
All right. So now that Chelsea has got all that positiveness out of the way, the rest of us can get back on here and start griping. So, what comments do you have? Any comments from conference or anything about what's going on with the program of study updates or the career prep? Questions, comments? The floor is open.
Well, Mark, I learned something this morning that I don't know if it was is widely known, but I'll just throw it out there. The 23-24 IBC to program of study crosswalk, I'm sure you all know, is being updated for 24-25, and 24-25 adds a bunch of new connections, right? So I don't have a good example, but maybe a certification that wasn't aligned to a particular program study now is. But the new part for me was that if a student had earned that IBC in a previous year, it still will not count under this crosswalk. So that was news to me.
It's got to be earned in the year that it did count, right, Sammy?
Yes. Was that your same understanding? You were part of that conversation as well. So
It was. It was kind of a. I don't know how they're going to keep up with that, but evidently they have a system to. It seems like to me if you graduated and you had uh, the IBC on that was on the list, but evidently they have a way to keep up with it. There were a lot of changes too, weren't there? Really,
there were. I put it all in a spreadsheet and saw that there were I don't know 300 some additions, and then there were fewer, but still quite a few that were removed. However, most of everything that was removed is either sunsetted or retired IBC. And then there were some that were removed just because, there's a new program of study that was merging to others. So,
thank you, Sammy.
I have
Go ahead.
Mark, I have a question. Sammy, I'm not following what you said. Say that again. If they earn it and it was part of another program of study, it's not count. Is that what you're saying?
Let me see if I can restate it, Sammy, and see if I'm saying what you're saying. So if a student earns an IBC that's aligned to a program of study this year, or if they earned an IBC in the past, but it wasn't aligned to a program of study that is new, then the program of study, the IBC only counts if it was earned as part of a program of study in the year in which the crosswalk was. Is that right, Sammy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I share my screen real quick? I can bring up that the spreadsheet I'm talking about, maybe explain it a little better.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, Sammy, you got it.
I know anytime you bring out the spreadsheets, it's a fun time, right?
Look at
Okay,
that.
can y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is what this is this spreadsheet shows the alignments between IBC and program of study last year, and then this one shows this year. So these are all the new ones. And if I just scroll up to the top, so let's just say a student earned certified insurance service representative last year. But under aligned to this program of study, which is accounting and financial services. Since this relationship between the program of study and the certification did not exist until this year, that will not count towards your CCMR points. They would have to earn it this year or later.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Okay.
Thank you, Sammy. That's a good spreadsheet. Where can we find?
Retake the same test.
That is my understanding, yes.
That is correct, according to what we were told this morning.
Where can we find that nifty dandy spreadsheet?
That's what I
If
was
you-
wondering.
If you email me, I will send you a copy. And I'll put my email in the chat.
And I assume, Sammy, that you're doing those so it'll update EduThings for the upcoming year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Also, let's see, Miss Andrews asked, sent in a question that said, can we send the student attendance accounting handbook? And that website is currently not coming up, Miss Andrews. So Chelsea, do you mind looking and seeing if you get to the new student attendance accounting handbook, because it wouldn't pop up on my website. And then the new link to the C330 will be on the Tweeds. It'll just be one of the tables that you scroll down into in Tweeds when it's live.
So it's not live, Mark, until when, or you don't know?
I thought it was going to be live now. Now I just went back and looked and it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was,
Yeah.
I was wondering if I was looking in the right spot.
And Chelsea did post a link to the student attendance accounting handbook. It may just be my computer not pulling it up. Did it work on yours, Chelsea? Oh,
And you can see the CO22 table on the new 24-25 under references.
you can see the new one or the old one?
The
Miss
new one,
Hatton?
the new
And
one,
Is the new one called the C330?
that's just for CTE. But if you're looking for the CO22, which houses everything, it's still going to be the CO22. But right now it's not there, but it's only under references on there in a spreadsheet.
Ah, got you. Thank you very
So,
much.
yeah, if
So-
y'all go to the 24-25 TWEDs and click on the tab that says references, you'll see a PDF or an Excel, and you can click on that.
Miss Hatton, that clears up. So there will still be a CO22 table. It's just all of the CTE course will rest in C330.
It's still in the CO22 as well. For whatever reason, they just came out with one that's just for CTE and the 330. So
Maybe it's just so vast on the CO22, and I mean, you can always do a find on it, right? But it is,
Yeah.
it is kind of laborious to go and try to find it in the middle of everything. So maybe it's that.
Well,
I don't know.
and why have one thing when you can have two?
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right.
I must be clicking on the wrong TWEDs because I can't change the year to 24-25 yet. Mine still only goes to 23-24.
Well,
Mine
That's
was the same, yeah.
right.
That's what
it-
Miss Hatton is saying. It's in a
I
special
missed
spot.
that.
Yeah.
Did you drop a link, Chelsea? I was fixing to say the link is totally different because the whole system is going through that upgrade. So it's not going to be, you're going to have to go through the actual TEA website to find it, but Chelsea dropped the link.
Got it. Sorry, I missed you saying all that.
Thank you.
Miss Hatton, that cleared that up because I didn't pick up on that when they were doing the updated conference. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Hey, Mark, it's Rochelle.
Hey, how are you doing?
Just wanted to drop another link for reference. This one is the link to the new entrepreneurship TEKs. They are kind of buried in everything and not readily available on the TEA website, but they are in effect this school year. So if you go through the regular channels of finding it on the TEA website, they are not posted there.
Not there yet,
However,
right?
yes, yet. However, they were sent out in the March newsletter or May newsletter, one of the two. But there's the link. Share it with your entrepreneurship teachers to make sure that they're operating off of the correct TEKs for
So
entrepreneurship.
those are hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
Were
And they
you on that?
really good, if I may say so myself. I was one of the writers and we did a great job.
Well, you were doing God's work serving on those committees, earning your wings.
Absolutely.
And JJ, I'm assuming, are the career prep teaks up new, or is that something
Yeah,
that
they
we're
should
still
be.
waiting? They're on the
Well,
website?
I believe so. They took our suggestions and then severely altered them to make it in programs of study and outside of programs of study. So they had to alter them. So it may be a little bit longer if they're not already. I haven't seen them posted yet, but
Thank you, JJ, but they should be before September 1st, I would think.
oh yeah.
Miss Hatton, if I make you a co-host, will you share your screen and show that to everyone? Okay, you are now co-host. And this is where you can find the current.
So this is the link that Chelsea shared, which will take you to the 24-25 school year. And if you click on references right here and then course code link, you'll see a PDF and a Excel version. And that, well, that didn't come over. But anyway, it'll download into an Excel if you click this one, and then you can see the 24-25.
And when it's fully up and running, it'll be over there in the tables.
Yes. So, you know, this used to be called code tables. Now it's descriptor tables. So when you click on this right now and you look at this, there's no CO22 table, but there will be whenever they get everything uploaded. But since they're going through the new update with the EdFi system and all of that, it's just not ready yet. So for now, that's where they put it, right here under references and then course code link, and you can find it. And that's the 24-25.
Thank you, Miss Hatton.
Welcome. Since I'm on, I would like to share something else that I learned recently, and that's about the real estate program. So I don't know if there's anyone in here doing real estate or looking at doing real estate, but we do have the new program of study that's out for that. And let me get, this is the program of study. I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Brand new program of study, real estate.
Yes. So this is the program of study for real estate. So this was the conversation I was having with a school. So you have to go through an approved education site in order to sit for the licensed realtor exam. And you have to have 180 hours of these courses like contract law and all of these kinds of things. So these courses on this program of study are not titled what the Texas Real Estate Commission says that you have to have. And so what a lot of schools have been doing are going through another company or doing dual credit or some other way of getting the education for the students to be ready to sit for this exam. So my thought is, if we have this new program of study, why aren't these courses working for that? Well, they do. So here's the new part that I want to share. So if you look at this course that I'm going to drop in the chat right now, this is the new course called Fundamentals of Real Estate, and it's an innovative course. This course was designed by an ISD and sorry, my screen went off. So this course
You need to reshare if you're wanting to.
Oh, no, I'm good. I don't have to share.
Okay, good.
So this course was developed by an ISD and the Real Estate Commission, and they said that this course would satisfy what's needed in order to provide someone the education to sit for that exam. But what has to happen is some legwork on the school's part first. They're going to have to go to the Texas Real Estate Commission, and they're going to have to apply to be a school, an education provider, and apply in that way, so that when the students finish this coursework, and they get ready to sit for the exam, they're going to have to apply and they're going to have to click which education facility they went through for that. And if their school's not on the list, then they can't choose that. And so the school can't do that after the fact. The school has to apply to be an education facility before they start doing this with their students. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good info. And Dr. Everett said that she just added that. So I'm
Yeah.
sure she's on there applying right now.
And there is one high school, because you can look through the approved education facilities right now. And there's only one high school listed, and it's Ford High School. And so I went to their website, I pulled their crosswalk to see how they had it set up. And they offer fundamentals of real estate just in that business cluster. And that's how they do it. And it was approved. So if they're doing it, you can do it. You just have to apply through the real estate commission to be that education facility.
That is awesome.
For that, hey, where is Ford High School? Is there like what ISD, you know?
Yes, let me shrink the screen.
That's why I love these roundtables. Thanks. It's good info.
That is in Quinlan ISD.
UUINLAND.
Yes.
And
Okay.
that's east of Dallas, right?
Don't give me the line. But you can
Really
find,
appreciate that. Thank you.
you're welcome. You can find it all online. I just typed in Ford High School and it popped right up.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
Amanda, I put in the chat the question of like, would the Pioneer School of Real Estate be a viable source? Because I mean, they've been around for a little bit, and they've kind of, they set up at our conference.
Let me share my screen again, and I'll just show y'all if that's okay.
You bet.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Okay, so this was Ford High School where I was going through their. So here's the list of providers that you can go through on it's TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission. And who were you asking me about?
Pioneer School of Real Estate.
Yep, they can go through them. So you just have to be on there, and then you'll see that if you I scrolled through the whole thing. Of course, a lot of your junior colleges are on here, but the only high school I saw was Ford High School. And so they did the groundwork first to apply to be able to offer this program, and were approved. You can't give any of these courses before you're approved and then go back and say that they fulfilled that before you were approved.
But the benefit to being your own school is you don't have to pay for it to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You can take care of it all yourself. But there are requirements, and there's what you can go to this website here and you can read all about becoming a qualifying education provider. You have to have an approved instructor on site to do that. But you can read all about it on their website. So.
Amanda, thank you for that. And I'm wondering if TEA would be willing to create an FAQ document similar to the Educational Aid 1 FAQ that was released recently that kind of clarifies and communicates this. And so then that way we can all work from one document and understanding. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. You rock.
Ms. Schaefer asked in the questions about the graduation changes, and Chelsea posted in there the new rules. Now, the one paragraph synopsis I would say is if you want to earn a business and industry or a public service endorsement using career tech classes, then your students have to be completers in the program of study. No other combination is available. Ms. Schaefer, did that get your question answered between that and that link? Oh, thank you very much. Okay, fantastic. All right, very lively. Any other questions, comments?
I've got a quick question.
Oh, wait, Ms. Schaefer, what Chelsea posted in the deal should be where you can find it in writing. That's the SBOE rules that were adopted in June. Okay, sorry, JJ.
No, you're good. You're good. So I was just glancing through the spreadsheet for the 24-25 TWEDs and noticed that technology applications 7 and 8 are no longer marked as CTE courses.
They
Does that
never
mean I can
were.
no longer?
Yeah, tech apps for junior high never was a CTE course.
Even though, so we can't use the local
Well,
funding to.
Okay, now keep in mind that what was it? Computer science used to be a technology applications course and was
Right.
moved over into CTE. But technology applications at the junior high is still its own separate thing, and this never has been CTE. It doesn't even
Okay.
have it doesn't even have an M. You know, it's just blank over there in that CTE
Right.
course, right? It's very confusing, but good catch, JJ.
Just caught me off guard because now I'm sitting here going, as I sit down for my Pick 22 evaluation here in a couple of weeks.
Those courses
where's
are not Pick 22 eligible. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
I see your wheels turning. Is that good news or bad news?
Yeah. Well, like most districts, our district is facing a deficit, but I'm about to have to tell my CFO that about $300,000 is going back into my budget.
Well, there you go. I'm sure they won't have a problem with that.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Fantastic.
Mark, I wanted to ask a question. This is Lisa Singleton, but my screen says Jasna because I stole the link from a coworker. But I wanted to send out the links for the science and math training. And when I clicked on the links today to check on them, they were no longer open for enrollment. Does anyone know about the courses that teachers have to do to teach CTE, math, or science, or have an update on that?
To teach okay, I'm sorry, you're echoing a little bit on my computer, but could you say that again? It's a little bit of an echo, yeah.
Probably because I'm on Yasna's link. My understanding was if you wanted to teach a CTE course that counts for math or science for graduation, that you had to do a course through TEA, through TEAL. And when I went to check on the links that the teachers would have to do, it said that it was no longer enrolling people.
I haven't looked at those in a while. Chelsea, you got some good
So
info?
this exact same thing happened this time last year. And I remember vaguely that when we brought it to TEA's attention, it was because they had like taken it down to update something and then they were going to put it right back. So it may be that they're just working on something, because also at that great ESC Region 7 event, Lacey Freeman was communicating that those were readily accessible and available. So I'm happy to reach out to the TEA team and identify if that's what the cause is. But what I would implore you to do in the meantime is just exit, refresh, try again, because it may just be that they are updating something on the back end, and then they'll launch and make those go live. But they should be accessible, and we haven't received notification of them taking them down or anything.
And they have refocused though. I think maybe it's Miss Hatton or Spencer or someone was telling me that they were really refocusing on the importance of those. It's kind of got new life.
But I also did learn from Lisa Harrison, and I don't know if she's on the call today or not, but maybe some ESC specialist friends can chime in. It was our understanding that we were going to be receiving an updated and aligned to Perkins 5 work-based learning virtual training through TEA Learn. So then that way, if you weren't able to at CTAT summer pre-conference or at your ESC attend one of those trainings, then you could utilize the ones on TEA Learn. But it's my understanding now that they are no longer working with that vendor who is updating them. And so that one is kind of paused. And so if you were waiting for the Align to Perkins 5 and newly updated rules and regulations of the SAW and things like that for work-based learning, that's not yet available, but the old version is. I would just communicate a little bit of caution that if you have a teacher go through that, some of those information points are null and void and just expired. So there's a few questions in the chat. So Ashley Bernard communicated, do the teachers need to complete it every year? It's just a one and done. But if it's updated, if it's new information, it's just good to keep abreast. And so maybe someone in your district can communicate if it's changed or anything like that. And then Amanda said that they will be extended until 8/14. So Amanda, are they going to put an expiration date of 8/14? So if you are like a late hire, or if you're going through in service or anything like that, is that the only time that you can take them, or can you come off of mute and let me know what you mean?
We got a message today that it just says each year that they migrate over to sections for courses. And so it says some of the CTE ones are getting the full updates, and the Till Learn will be, the dates will be extended to August 14th. So like if they're working on them right now, go ahead and get those finished up by August 14th. And so they'll have those done, and then they're going to probably roll into something else. And then they also sent this this link I sent in, like if you're having problems like with that one, if you can't get in or maybe something's not working, just to reach out to this help desk with the link that I sent.
Thank you, Amanda. And it looks like Jackie, thank you, Jackie, for posting a link that is working. So if you are in need of those links, grab that. And then if you have a teacher start to work on it today or tomorrow, just make sure that they are done and receive their certificate and keep that on file through or by August 14th. And that is something of importance to note. It is one and done, but it's only as valuable as the documentation that you have on file. So if you have a teacher that communicates, oh yeah, I did that way back in the day, but you don't have that viable like screenshot or certificate or anything of the like, then they would have to do that again. So I recommend keeping it in their HR file or keeping it in your internal documentation, just so that way, if you were ever subject to audit, you could provide that.
Like my driver's license, Sammy, the cop said a copy doesn't work. All right, fantastic. Any other comments before we close up the Zoom? Comments, questions?
I have a question.
You bet.
So our district has, my district has they have what they're calling a CTE consultant. I wasn't in the meeting, but I was tasked with trying to figure out whether this is true or not. So in the meeting that they had, she stated that 10% of the certificate, a certification can only count for 10%. And from my understanding, what she is saying, that let's just say we have animal science from Elanco Animal Science, that only 10% of the certifications for that particular course can count for that, which means we'd have to find another certification and that one would be 10%. It's very confusing, but has anybody heard anything about certifications can only be used, 10% of it can only be used for one certification type?
Well, if they were being sunsetted, then I think it was 20% or 5, whichever number was bigger. And so, is that right, Renee?
Yeah. Correct.
But that also expired effective this last graduating cohort.
Because all the sunsets were through. And so I'm not sure where she's reading that at, because it's not in the accountability manual.
Okay, Mark, this is Jennifer.
Yeah.
Funny that she brought this up. Somebody said this to me as well, and I was like, there is no way. what it is, 'cause I'm like, oh my God. Just like sink us now. That is on the IGC. It's IGC. When your kids are graduating on IGC, you can only, or like the kids that have passed all their EOCs and you've got to graduate them, it's 10% of those. So it's your IGC. They keep getting it mixed up with IBC. It's your individualized graduation plan.
Well, there you go.
And so what is it that it can only be 10% of those kids that what?
To count towards your accountability. So like
Okay.
if you have out of all your kids that are supposed to graduate, quote, quote, in that cohort, that when they go to graduate, that you can only apply 10% to the IGC program.
Okay. So if there's 100 kids, only 10 can be. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense, Ms. Poole?
Yes, thank you very much.
Y'all should have hired Miss Edenfield.
Yeah, funny. I'm telling you, when the person said that to me, I almost fell out of my chair because I kept saying there is no way. And they're like, yes, I heard it. And I'm like, you're confusing something. But
Yeah,
no, it's not.
I'm pretty sure that would have come up at a meeting somewhere.
Well, that's what I said.
That might be one of those double secret graduation accountability. Okay, thank you, Ms. Poole. That's a great question. Thank you, Ms. Edenfield. That was a clutch answer there.
When I pulled up this link Chelsea put in the chat, Ms. Poole, it looks like they have like a webinar and presentation on here and some other information that might be helpful for you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other comments, questions? I'm going to stop the recording right now because that'll give us a solid hour. Thanks everyone for being here. And this will end the recording part that'll go on the YouTube. And we appreciate you guys. And recording stops now.